Double Dragon, not happening. What's next on my arcade buy and sell list, and why I think it's never going to be better than Deluxe. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Another episode of This Week, the show where we talk about what happened this week in home arcades, episode 181. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the weekend show, the Sunday night extravaganza. I think we're going to be alone this week. I think Michael B is not going to be doing the show. It's kind of sad. But I've reclaimed Sunday. You know, I defeated Mike. Well, not really. I think he just kind of gave up. I think he just got bored and moved on, and that's fine. That's fine. I've got you all to myself. No more distractions. So everybody, I hope you had a great weekend, great weekend. I had a productive weekend. Got started really early Saturday and picked up a new cabinet. We're going to talk about that in just a second. Really excited about it. It was definitely something different. It was kind of a departure. It was not exactly a stock cabinet. A lot of these cabinets that I get are in varying states of repair or disrepair and need some restoration. This thing was modified slightly. There's a lot of these out there, though, so we're going to talk about it a little bit later. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check out the video. I really appreciate that. This is going to be a fun one. It's going to be something a little bit different, and I'm excited about it. I get to kind of use my imagination and go crazy, and it was another reason to purchase more cool stuff. So that's always good. That's always good. I love purchasing new cool stuff. Everybody is in the chat live. Really appreciate everybody being here. What are you drinking tonight? I am drinking my Jeffersons, as always. The go-to, definitely for sure. Going to probably have to go with something different. I think the next one's going to be Basil Hayden Toast. I think might be the next one. Oh, no, not Basil Hayden Toast. Not that one. What is the other one? Justin, Console Kits. Justin, the artist formerly known as Console Kits, suggested, Elijah Craig Toast. As long as it's got toast in the title, I think I'm good. It should be a pretty good bourbon for sure. So good. So good. So let me know what you're drinking in the live chat, everybody. And we got to talk about something very serious, the direction of home arcade. And I want to get your input. So let's talk about the poll question. Every week we have a poll question. This week's no different. The poll question is simply this. I put it up a little bit early because I wanted everybody to kind of have some time to think about it. But the question is simply this: what do you want to see Basic Fun, who is, I guess, kind of taking the baton from Arcade 1-Up, what do you want to see them do with the upright home arcade product line? So home arcades, upright, stand-ups, 3/4 scales, what we usually refer to them, but I didn't want to put you in a box. Where do you want them to take it? Where do you want them to go? Assuming that Arcade 1-Up is done, pretty much done. I mean, there's almost nothing left of them. They won a lawsuit, which is great, or maybe the lawsuit was dismissed, so it's like nobody really wins when dismisses happen. It's just sort of like both sides just give up. It's like a tie in football. All that effort for absolutely, you just have nothing to show for it. It's really, really, really sad. So you have three options. One is just keep it the same as the Deluxe and the Deluxe price. So Deluxe size and styling, different games, but keep that size, form factor, and that price. That's where we want to see it. Number two is we want to go bigger. Bigger designs and bigger price tags. We know the price is going to increase, but it's okay. We want bigger machines. That's your number two option. Number three is go cheaper. Go cheaper. We've kind of seen these prices get out of control. Let's go way down. Let's go cheaper, and let's go like sub $400. So if it's got to be a peasant cade, then that's just what it has to be. But let me know what you think about what direction do you want it to go. It's kind of like go bigger, go smaller, or stay the same. That's kind of what your three options are. And it's shaking out. Got 51 votes so far. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to dig into these numbers and see where it all ends up. But everybody, make sure vote and let your voice be heard. Also, a little bit of a side note to the channel. We have a new store. Teespring is the company that I originally partnered with for my store, my merch, my unique designs, and I've absolutely had enough with that company. I've absolutely had enough with that store. We've had several issues of, I do giveaways from time to time. When we reach a big channel milestone around Christmas time, we do a bunch of giveaways, and I give away merch from my store. That has been an absolute pain. It's been embarrassing. Winners are waiting months for their t-shirt or hat or whatever, and that sucks, and you deserve better. So I have switched stores right now. My the YouTube website is updating, or my page is updating, so it's still showing Teespring. Don't worry, the new link should be up soon. But if you want to check out the new store right now, the link is actually the pinned comment in the live chat right now. You can click on that and you can check out the new store. And basically, you just look at a design, click on the design, and then it lets you choose from anything in their catalog. So t-shirts, hoodies, hats, coffee mugs, whatever you want. So it's kind of cool. Price is a little bit better. And there's going to be more opportunity for like sales and stuff like that. So I'm excited to get in to this new store and develop new designs and all that. So that's what I'm excited about. Check out the store if you want to support the channel. It's a great way to support the channel and get yourself some decent merch, some sweet stuff, some shirts and whatnot. And let me know if you want to see different designs. If I didn't carry over a design that you really liked from the other store, let me know and I can add that for sure. So let's say hi to you. Everybody commenting, and we're going to obviously recognize the first 10 comments, not the top 10, but the first 10. The first 10 of you that jumped in early and made them. This one, I say it every week, but I think it may actually be a new record. I really need to make sure. I got to double check when I actually go live or make the make the show live and time this out, because Kevin Clausen coming in the number one spot with a record-breaking 11:42. That's like 1 minute. Within me going actually posting the link, because I post the first show and then I set up the after show, and before I could get the after show done, he was already there. He'd already commented. So Kevin Clausen, congratulations, and thank you so much for gifting a 19K Fox membership to some random person in the chat. Hope you enjoy it, and for all those members, hang out right here. Once the show is over, you're automatically redirected to the after show where we talk about anything and everything. We use profanity. We drink some more. It's absolutely it's chaos. It's utter chaos, and it's also kind of fun. Coming in the number 2 spot is Bob. What's going on, buddy? Great to see you as always. Coming in the number 3 spot is Game Broker 84. Happy Sunday, Fox. Can't wait for the show tonight. Your Silver Strike find was really cool. I am also looking for one, and you are right there. Right there can be pricey. Yeah, you're right. They can be pricey. Can't wait for future videos on it. Yes, Golden Tee, Silver Strike, bags, Power Putt, they're all expensive. They are all expensive. And it's just one thing. You can find them for sure, but can you afford them? Well, that's another story entirely. So finding one at a decent price and then understanding the trouble you could be getting yourself into was kind of the purpose of the video. So check out the video. It's a cautionary tale, but it's an honest look at what you can find if you want to spend less than $1,000. Thank you so much for checking out the video, man. I always do appreciate you supporting the channel. As always, Zero Cool coming in. Once again, I don't believe it's zero. Your cool level is much higher than zero. Nice pickup on Silver Strike. What's the max someone should pay for one? So it depends on, Silver Strike, I think it's like 2003. It's the first year that they made Silver Strike, the original, the one I got. Depending on what you're looking for. Now, I think those originals came in a full-size cabinet size and shape and all that. You're gonna end up paying $2,000 to $3,000, man. $2,000 for one, 100% working is probably a decent price. Pedestals happened a little bit later in the life cycle. So you're talking about Silver Strike, like 2007, Silver Strike X, I think. And then, of course, the Golden Tees, at some point, I think around even up until like 2005, 2006, they were also coming available in big cabinets. So if you want a big cabinet, you're going to pay a couple grand. Pedestals are where it's at, but they're about the same. You're going to spend about $2,000. We're going to talk about some of the price points of the new stuff that you can buy right now. But it's kind of all over the place. But if you want to spend less than $1,000, you're going to have to search, and you're going to end up with something that's maybe not ideal. But the deals are out there if you're willing to search for them, for sure. Frank D coming in the number 5 spot. What's going on, brother? Not sure what I'll be having tonight. Probably another wild cherry Pepsi. We'll see. Listen, don't put yourself in a box. Don't paint yourself in a corner. Do whatever makes you feel good within the law, within the legal limits of the law. Absolutely. Coming in the number 6 spot is JR. What's going on, buddy? Hey, everyone. Great to see you as always. Coming in the number 7 spot is Shogeko. Hey, Fox, I am here with my Miller Lite. Let's get this party started. Absolutely, brother. Tastes like Christmas. Coming in the number 8 spot is Jason S. What's going on, buddy? I can feel the Double Dragon powers, brother. What you gonna do when Double Dragon run wild on you? I get in my car and drive away. It's the only thing I can figure out. Coming in the number 9 spot is Jason, who's mildly annoyed with some things, breaking the story that the Arcade 1-Up Atari lawsuit has been dismissed. I think am I reading the tea leaves correct? Is it actually over? Is it gone? Is it done? Seems like it's sad when the majority of the stories about an home arcade company are the lawsuits that they've been involved in instead of the stuff that they're coming out with. But thank you so much for, as always, being on top of it. Our legal correspondent, Jason, mildly annoyed at some things. And coming in the coveted number 10 spot is Arcade Dave. Hello, gamers and Fox. Congratulations on the Silver Strike pickup. Can't wait to see all the updates you do to the cabinets. Is NBA Jam your next cabinet? This space is filling up fast in the Foxcade. It absolutely is. And we're going to talk about some of my plans moving forward a little bit later. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that. Got to say hello to Angelo P. Always in the chat, always supporting the channel. Dan Z is also here. Gotham City Arcade. What's up, Battle? Do you have any new information on the Basic Fun WWF cabinets? No, I do not. I'm anxiously awaiting some kind of information, just like you. Working behind the scenes, as all of us are, trying to get as much information as possible. And as soon as I know something, you all will absolutely know. JJ, thank you so much for being here. David Deming, Israel Gaming is in the house. You're going to get a mention tonight. Absolutely. Muller Medic, a 8-month-long member. Thank you so much for supporting the channel for 8 long months. Really do appreciate you, brother. Only $5 a month, guys. It's affordable. It's a way to go. It's cheaper than a super chat. Well, it's cheaper than super chatting every week. Already 8 months. I need my 12 months. That's right. In the members only, we're going to have some discussions about some of the tiers and some of the things we're going to do for some of those tiers, tiered members. B Kirby's also in the chat. Nozapalooza. Jason is here. Paul Minderman, big, Basic Fun. Go big. Or go home. Paul, we know where your heart is. And it's XL all the way, baby. Dane Bramage is also here. Thank you so much for being here. Nova Sonic 23. Hope you had a great weekend, brother. Always good to see you. Random One, Jim the Pacers fan. Michael B, the Game Genie. Hi, Fox and chat. I want XL like cabs from them, which is what I'm hoping the club cabs are. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Como se llama? I don't know. Sounds good. And 19K Fox is also dropping links to his own merch. What the hell? Kevin Clausen, we already said hi to you. Jason Little Alien, thank you so much for being here, buddy. Gramps Arcade, I knew you were going to sneak in there, buddy. Good to see you as always. Doug Wynn, great to see you. Richard Wadello. Hello, sir. How are you? How are you? Brooklyn, not being a menace, just being a badass is here also. Thank you so much for being here, buddy. Sleepy fluid. What's sleepy fluid? That's Bill Cosby already knows about that. I just want them to make more Pac-Man. I hear you. If there's one thing we haven't had enough of in home arcade, it's Pac-Man. Hopefully they can come through for us. Chris C is also here. Framed Niner. What's going on, buddy? Mr. Paradise. Yes, Mr. Paradise. Cyber Cycles 2077 is also here. I'm sorry, Cyber Siles 2077. I apologize. Reading is not my first language. Multicade Matt, what's going on, buddy? Always great to see you. Some of the AAs are here. Arcadians, Anonymoso, Gamer Fridge, also one of those individuals in general. Hopefully, I see you guys this September, perhaps at a convention, maybe. Thor KC, MSU Rich. And Multicade, yeah, I just said that. Scroll down, that I get everybody. The real Zim, not to be confused with the artificial Zim. There is an important distinction to be made. Absolutely. Do we get everybody? Do we say hi to everybody? Pax, what's going on, man? Bizonica. Moving on. And you're a new member. Nice. I better get your name right. Thank you so much for becoming a new member. I really do appreciate it. Dudes Arcade. It's the best arcade, bro. Dudes, Silver Strike Bowling is cool because you can go into the service menu and customize messages like beer specials or whatever you want. I can't wait to dig into all those settings. It's going to be a lot of fun getting this thing set up for sure. Cat Dad's Arcade. What's up, 19K Fox? Good to see you, Cat. Dads. It's great. Are you married to a woman named Dog Moms? I'm just curious. Just curious. Asking for a friend. Michael Suna is also here. What's going on, guys? I think I said I say in spirits. What's going on, my brother? Need the Unico full-size update? Absolutely. I've heard some stuff. We'll talk later. Chris Ford is also in the house. Gallagher guy, what are we drinking? You know we're drinking, buddy. Jefferson's. It's because moving on up. Absolutely. Miss G is in the house. Excellent. Always great to see you. Thanks for being. Goofy Foot is here. I think we said hi to everybody. I think we got everybody. Okay, good. Jason S. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, guys. So listen, vote in the poll. I need to know what you think. What's the question? What's the answer to the question? Where do you want basically to take the actual segment, the cabinets, the whole arcade, the whole home arcade community? I mean, nobody else is really doing anything. So where do you want them to just take it on their back, take it on their shoulders, and head in a direction? What direction is that? Where do you want the product line to go? Vote in the poll. Let me know what you think about that, guys. I talked about what I'm drinking. I talked about what we're talking about. I said hi to you. Now let's go ahead and slide on into the first topic. And let's talk about let's talk about my latest pickup. Sorry, you know what I should do? Drink more. That always helps. Alcohol's never made anything bad. Midlife Arcade says, oh yeah, Unico? Are they still around? Yes, they're around. I'm sure they're doing something. I can't wait to talk about it for sure. And let's talk about, so my latest pickup was an interesting one. So I don't want to spoil the entire video. If you want all the nitty gritty details about the cabinet, check out the video. But basically it is a Silver Strike Bowling cabinet. Well, okay, it's a pedestal, but it is a cabinet. See, the thing is that when you're trying to stay on a price point of, let's say $1,000 or less, which just seems kind of high, right? But these games are really hard to find. So what I did is I, set my price point pretty low and started shopping within that price point. And I found some things that okay, they're legit offerings for Golden Tee and Silver Strike Bowling and all that, but they're usually in the form of a modified upright cabinet. So they decided to kind of mimic the pedestals, which actually came later than the full-size arcade cabinets. And so this was basically that cabinet, but cut down. Now, you can get into a lot of sticky situations with some of these conversions because not all conversions are created equal. Not all skill sets are created equal, or not all skills are being truly implemented to their best ability. Some guys just hack them up and say, hey, it's good enough. It's good to go. Let's go ahead and play. This one was in pretty good shape. This one is one of the better ones. All the components were there. I did see this thing actually running in a video. And then when I went and picked it up, I was able to verify that, yes, it did work. Everything was there. So I brought it home and we talked about it and discussed it. And I've already stripped this thing down. And just to kind of give you an idea of, as far as, the price points that I'm talking about, $1,000, which seems kind of crazy, $1,000, and that's something you had to stay under. You really had to search and find something less than $1,000, and it ended up being a cabinet you were cut in half. Well, just to give you an idea of kind of where we're at now, you can still buy these games now. If you want to get something called the Arcade Collection, which is a collection of their 3 classic games, Silver Strike Bowling. I think that's actually Silver Strike X, which is a newer version of the game. So that's what's on there now. Power Putt and not bags. It's a target toss. So I think it's basically bags. It's bags, but it includes bags. Oh no, it's actually bags. There you go, it's bags. But it includes target toss, includes lawn darts, and all that. A lot of mini games. It's pretty fun. But to get all that in one convenient package, as cheap as possible right now, which is really just a tabletop, like it's called the Go version, and you can set this on your coffee table, whatever, plug it into your TV with an HDMI out. It's $3,000. It's $3,000. Now, okay, so what about Golden Tee? What if I just want a new version of Golden Tee in the same form factor? It's going to be more. That's right, $300 more because Golden Tee is Golden Tee. It's the gold standard, and it's really expensive. So it's still, I still think it's wild that you're going to sit here and you're for $300, $300 less, you're going to get way more games, different games, and this is what I would gravitate towards anyway. So that's where the price point is. That's where you're at if you want to find something new. Now, if you're talking about an actual pedestal that sits on the ground, now you're talking about $4,000 minimum for the arcade classics or the arcade collection. If you want to go Golden Tee, it's like 4,500. I mean, and that's just the cheapest possible way. They get much more elaborate. You could spend 7, 8, 9 grand on these. You're getting, I mean, you're in pinball territory. I know, pinball. That's crazy. That's big money. So, but I've got the thing home and I've stripped it down and it's in really good. It was complete, but it's not perfection. It's not where I really wanted it to be. Before it comes down to the arcade, I go through everything, nut and bolt, all the wiring, clean it up, artwork, T-molding, all that good stuff. And this is its current situation. This is where it is now. You can see all the T-molding has been stripped off, everything. I had to do, so basically I'm filling all the holes with glue. If you watch my Alien vs. Predator cabinet renovation or restoration, I like to fill all the holes with glue, with wood glue, and let that just kind of fill up and dry solid. I also like to go around these little metal inserts for some of these joysticks, and in this instance, a trackball. It's this metal insert, and there's always this little bit of a gap between the metal insert and the actual board itself that it's mounted in. And so I like to fill that with wood glue just to kind of make that just as smooth as possible. So that you just do a little bit of sanding when everything's dry and you're good to go. You can see this is nice black melamine on top, but it was a son of a gun getting this sticker off. This thing was rough. I mean, this thing was really, really rough just to get this off. Layers and layers of decal. Once you get the top layer off, and you had all this residue, all this glue left over. So it was a lot of goof off. I didn't get the liquid, I didn't get the liquid because it was kind of harsh. I didn't want to damage the melamine underneath. So I got that orange stuff, and then I just put it on a Scotch Brite pad and just scrubbed the hell out of it. But I finally got it completely clean, and all the holes are full of glue. That's going to dry. We're going to sand that perfectly smooth, and I'm waiting for a ton of stuff. Hey, I wish, okay? I wish. Promises were made, and checks have not shown up yet. But we'll see, P-dubs. We'll see. With any luck, right? With any luck, I'll get there. So this is where we're at. This thing, like I said, is totally stripped out. I have all of the. I've got everything pretty much. This one, like this. There we go. I've got everything gutted. I took the PC apart. I just took the PC out, and I found that there's a bad cooling fan that has to be replaced. So I've got that on order. And this thing, the lowest amount of RAM this thing came with, because this is a PC running, a version of Windows, and it's running the game that requires at least like a minimum of like 128 gigs, or I'm sorry, 120 megabytes of RAM. And that's what it's got. But I want to upgrade that. So I ordered a stick of 256 megabytes. I have to slow down and say megabytes. Remember megabytes, kids? Wasn't that great fun? So I have a stick of 256 megabytes of RAM. So I'm going to double the RAM. I've heard that if you can go beyond that. Obviously, you can get 512. You can even get a gig. But if you go beyond 256 gigs, you're not going to see much of a difference in performance, because the CPU itself it's only going to be able to support so much RAM. I knew it. I knew I would disappoint you. But hopefully I can earn you back. We'll see. I'd love to add a bowling game. Yes, bowling. I'm telling you, bowling is awesome. So I've got some PC upgrades. I'm going to upgrade the RAM. I'm going to fix the fan, and the whole power distribution has got to be fixed. It was just it was all there, but remember, you got stuff like in the top of the cabinet that they've now, all the wiring that used to go all the way up to the speakers and stuff has now been pulled down and coiled up in the bottom of that little pedestal. So I'm changing a lot of stuff, shortening up everything, rewiring some stuff. I'm going to do some inline fuses instead of some of the fusing that they had in there. So it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. And of course, new T-molding all the way around. I'm going to do a little bit of a graphics package. Nothing too crazy as far as the pedestal goes. I just want the artwork to be nice and clean and new, and then obviously new buttons. A new trackball is $140. I didn't order that. I think the trackball is fine, but I'm not opposed to maybe springing for a brand new trackball. because I mean, it's the only thing. I mean, yeah, you got the buttons, but it's basically the only controller. I'm going to crack this one open and clean it up. And, maybe I'll just get a brand new one in some other time. Also, the other part of this equation is, of course, I had to make room in the arcade. And I went out and bought a 55-inch TV, got it on sale, Best Buy. And I always love getting a new TV. It's never a bad. I'm looking for reasons to buy new TVs and just put them everywhere. So we've made a little bit of room in the arcade, and the TV's mounted on the wall. Once the pedestal is complete, we're going to go ahead and put that in there. And then we're also going to, above the TV, I mean, we could just leave that and it's fine. But that's not going to be good enough. That's not going to be good enough. So I'm going to I've already ordered a marquee with plexiglass, and I'm going to make a custom box, and we're going to light that thing up. And then I want to have a lit marquee above the TV. So it's going to be the appropriate size. I think it's 26 by 7 inches. So it's going to be the appropriate size, hanging up directly above the TV. And it's going to be lit. It's going to be beautiful. I'm excited about it. So I think that's going to look good. So this is kind of where we're at. This is the latest and greatest when it comes to additions. Now, moving forward, I've got my eye on a 4-player NFL Blitz 99. That's local. It would require some more selling. So I don't know if I'm going to do that right now. There's a Time Crisis. Is it Time Crisis 4? Which one is it? Let me see. It's not Time Crisis 4. Now, hold on. I want to make sure I get this right. This is important. There's a Time Crisis in Indianapolis that is going for the guy only wants 500. It's Crisis Zone. That's right. Yeah, it's Crisis Zone. It's the one with the single. Can you see that, guys? Yeah, it's the one with the single submachine gun. That's $500. So I've given that some thought because I only have the one shooter and it's an RK one-up. But yes, I've given that some thought. I'm also kind of waiting for maybe I should do a House of the Dead. But normally those cabinets are long, and I'd have to maybe get rid of one of my racing cabinets, which I'm not opposed to maybe, Outrun 2 could actually be on the way out. I don't know. But but that's, that would take something monumental to get rid of Outrun 2. Crazy Taxi, we're not getting rid of that. That's just classic. That's just awesome. But as far as what I'm selling, like right now, currently, boom. So X-Men is I've got a buyer. Israel Israel Arcade is actually going to be picking this up this weekend. So Israel will be here, and that's going to be cool. He's going to get to check out my arcade and hopefully give me some pointers and tips and talk about what he's got going on in his house. So X-Men is on the way out. I currently have Golden Tee 3D XL listed on Facebook. This has got a second. Now, the first monitor eventually did die. There he is. Israel Gaming. There he is. That's right. I'm sorry. I called your channel Israel Arcade. I apologize. Israel Gaming is going to be getting the X-Men with some extras. I found a few things, Israel, as I was going through all my stuff. And you're going to get a few extras, some things that were included, some of the original stuff. Going to have to make sure. And yes, the red chair is also for sale. That's my old gaming chair. My old streaming chair, actually. I went with this black one because it's got more lumbar support. Because at my age, lumbar support is crucial for sure. So yes, so the red chair, I'd probably sell the red chair for $20. I don't know. Just whatever. Just want to get rid of it. But so the Golden Tee XL, that's got the first monitor I did eventually die. So it has the second monitor that I installed in this is an IPS 19-inch. It looks a little bit better than the other one. I want the red chair. I had no idea we'd have a bidding war for the red chair, but it's absolutely available. If you want to check it out, absolutely. I'm a little upset over that X-Men. Look at it. Oh, I know. Sorry. Yeah, it's Israel. He started pulling on my heartstrings, man. And I knew it was gonna have to go eventually. I thought, well, that seems like a good home. So he's gonna get that. He's gonna pick it up, and it's a fair price too. Only $1,000, and I thought that was great. I thought that was more. That was definitely a fair price for sure. So $1,000. There you go. But no, that's not the price. But so Golden Tee is listed locally. Check it out. It's got the IPS display in it, which is a little bit better than that first monitor upgraded to. It's really nice. And it was kind of a shame to let this one go. But like I've said before, this damn thing, nobody played the golf. Nobody played Golden Tee. Everybody. And every time, I'm telling you, every time I had a party, and the nieces and nephews came over, family, friends came over, nobody played golf. Nobody played Golden Tee. They all played the bowling. Let me know if you've got this in the comment section. Let me know if you've actually got the same problem with your Golden Tee cabinet. Oh my God, I've lost another one. I unsubbed when Fox sold his 6-player X-Men. This cabinet is dead. This channel is dead. I'm just selling X-Men left and right, but you haven't even heard about my plan to replace X-Men. It's gone but not forgotten. First off, it's going to a great home. We have a fan of the show who is excited about this. And yes, Jason, yes, golf sucks. Nobody played it. I mean, I would have 4 kids at varying ages lined up, teams of 4 playing the bowling game. So it just seemed like it was the right thing to do. So Silver Strike Bowling is the way to go. And it's exciting because I can absolutely upgrade in the future to something else. So that's where I'm at as far as buying and selling currently. Like I said, the XL that set the internet on fire, it's an absolute celebrity. It's worth $3,000 easy, but I'd sell it for $2,000. No, it's currently listed for $500. You know what's funny? Rewatching my video, because I was rewatching some of the videos on this. The very first video I did on this, man, that was like over 3 years ago. Do you remember? Quick question in the chat. Let me know right now. Fast fingers ready. What was the original price of Golden Tee XL? What was the original price of Golden Tee XL? The first XL cabinet from Arcade 1UP. It included the molded coin door, 19-inch monitor. 19-inch monitor was ugly. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we got winners. So we got 700, 699, 699. It was $699, guys. $700. Remember when I went on that buying spree? I spent $700 on this one, on XL, on Golden Tee XL. I spent $700 on T2, and I spent $700 on Ridge Racer. And it's funny, of all the Arcade 1UPs I have left, I don't have Ridge Racer, but 2 of them are the ones that I paid the most money for. I still got T2. I'm not selling that one. Really like that one. Got some more upgrades. I actually have more upgrades planned for that in the near future, coming up soon, very soon. No, it wasn't 749, Kevin. It was well, I don't know, maybe in Canada. What the hell? No, Canada would be more than that. But yes, it was $700, and it was worth $1,000. That's what it's worth. But no, so yes, it was $700. And then of course the new one that they just came out with the midway games on it, the joysticks, that was only $599. So it was $100 savings there. But yeah, it's that cabinet. It was the only reason I got rid of it is because I got Silver Strike Bowling. I got another bowling game. That was I told myself that was the only reason I would get rid of it, because it's one of the best Arcade 1UP cabinets they've ever made. The sound is so good. The shape is great. I mean, I swapped out the monitors, but other than that, I've had no issues, no problems with that cabinet. All that trackball, I know some people, it's been hit or miss for some people. My trackball's been great. The same thing with T2. And I pre-ordered these cabinets, right? One of the first ones to get them. And it's like it's hit or miss, right? Some people just have a great time. Some people have a bad time, have a lot of problems. I never had any issues with T2 either. I thought I had a bad PCB. I reached out to Arcade 1UP. They gave me a new PCB for Terminator 2. And then I don't know. I turned it back on with the stock PCB in there, and it was fine. I'm like, what the hell happened? And it was fun. So I have an extra T2 PCB. And now that I've said that, Arcade 1UP is going to sue me. That's what's going on. Oh my God. So before we get sued, that's the latest and greatest what's going on in my arcade. I've got some other things that I want to do. Oh, speaking of X-Men. So X-Men, 6-player X-Men, the cabinet that I broke my heart to get rid of. The game that I was running in that was the 6-player X-Men game that Backbone did back in 2009 for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360. Downloadable title. I still have that. So what I want to do is a Multicade-ish, powered by my old PS3, to run X-Men 6-player and games like Turtles reshelled, some of those original remakes, like late 2000s remakes, like 08, 09, 2010, those remakes. Play some of that PlayStation 3 catalog of downloadable titles that I have that you just can't get anymore. You can't find them. So that's what I want to do. So that's one of the things that I want to do. On the other side of the arcade, it's going to have to be something slim, kind of mounted up on the wall, super tight. I got some ideas. I've shared some of this with the members on the live streams and the after show, but I got some multicade ideas that are going to be specific to some of the multiplayer games. So multiplayer multicade, I guess. Sure. Okay. So that's the latest and greatest for right now, guys. Stay tuned to the channel for more details. And but before we, I guess, get too long-winded, let's go ahead and slide into the next topic. And all things considered, I think that there's a lot going on in the arcade. I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty excited about it. But you know what makes me even more excited? A $10 super chat from the Twisted One, Twisted Chris, Twisted Gaming TV. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, brother. I really do appreciate it. Welcome to the Silver Strike Bowling Arcade family. Texas Pinball Festival was fun times. Have a great show. Thank you so much, Chris. I really do appreciate it, as always. Jumping over here and supporting the chat, supporting the channel. It's great. Love it. And the only way I know how to support show my appreciation to you for your support is to send you to the pit.
Finish him. Melina wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Okay, so let's get into the game that never was. Double Dragon. Poor Double Dragon. We have been teased about Double Dragon since the old Arcade 1-Up days. And it's funny, the tease, the troll with Double Dragon was executed in the exact same way. There was a cabinet that was built. This was not some random picture, some random comment from somebody that we just took and ran with back in the old days. No, this was an actual physical cabinet that we saw that was built by Arcade 1-Up down in Miami back in the day. And it was really exciting. It was a great time. A lot of people have a lot of love for that game series, even though there's some slowdown, even though it's one of the games that maybe didn't age so well. It's definitely, no one can deny that it's an arcade classic. And the game series would have been great. And the fact that Taito would have had some actual real representation in our arcades would have been great, an actual Taito cab. So you could kind of round out your collection. It would have been incredible. Yes! Double Dragons. But sadly, we have been bamboozled once again with another physical offering, another physical cabinet, a prototype that will absolutely never happen. Never going to happen. So let's look at the official statement from Iconic Arcade in regards to this particular cabinet. The Double Dragon cabinet that we saw, we talked about this a couple weeks ago, maybe even a month ago, when this leaked, and we found out this was going to be, something that was going to be part of Arc Systems, and they were going to, Iconic was going to sponsor Arc Systems, and so they put this together for Arc Systems for that event. And that's it. But let's look at the official statement. Now, you'll notice in the icon in the lower right-hand corner, that is Kong's R Us. He did a great video talking about all the specificity within this event and the interactions that he had with John D. and Bobby Vu of Iconic Arcade fame. So check out his video for more information. But these are the statements that he offered up for us to share with the community. So here it is. Iconic Arcade is proud to partner with Arc Systems Works as an official sponsor of the Arc World Tour Tournament. As lifelong fans of Arc's legendary arcade legacy, we're excited to showcase a set of one of one, never going to be made again, Double Dragon arcade machine prototypes at this event, bringing a true classic back to the arcade scene. Stay tuned for more details as we celebrate the games that defined generations of players. One of one, only made for the event, commissioned only for the event. That's right. Only for the event. Special commissions, not for production. It's not going to happen. I know that makes you sad, and I'm sad too, but one thing that's going to turn that frown upside down is a $10 super chat from B. Kirby. Thank you so much for your $10 super chat, brother. I really appreciate the support. Keep doing what you're doing, brother, and quit letting 50 51st staters argue with the original 50 state statesman. Poor James hates everything. Being picked on by Michael B. in the chat. Dear Lord, I'll have to watch the replay. I was so involved in my own conversation, I overlooked the fact that James, who is mildly annoyed at some things, is being picked on by a 51ster. Can't happen. But listen, James, these are growing pains. Once they get acclimated to our way of life, I'm sure the insults will subside or diminish maybe in some way.
Can't you do any better?
So this is a one-of-one, only made for the event. A little bit different shape, a little bit different styling, all that, but only made for the event. Now, I think it's funny that if you watch B Kong's video, and he was a very bad correspondent during the Super Game Room Dudes this Friday, as is always. That's his MO. That's what he does. He showed off the two cabinets, and then the fact that, listen, the classic cabinet was functional, but the new cabinet showcasing Double Dragon Revive, it didn't even really work. I mean, yeah, you could plug in an Xbox controller and play it that way, but the cabinet itself was just simply for show. That's about it. Now, I do know who built these cabinets. I know who actually did the cutting of the cabinet material, the cabinets themselves. And trust me when I tell you, these are one-offs. These were first off, starting with the one-piece side panels, the cabinet shape and all that. These were designed, not really for production. I mean, even if they were designed similarly to what we saw with the other Street Fighter cabinets, these were just one-offs, guys. Like I said, I know who actually did the cutting of those cabinets and packaged it and shipped it out to California. I know. I was contacted by the community member that did that, and this is a one-off, guys. This is just not. They have no intention of making this a cabinet. I mean, it's like anything else. It'd be kind of cool, in theory, and the quality I'm sure is there. And you could. I mean, I've made several cabinets. You've made several cabinets, including some games that are never going to see the light of day by RKO One Up for anybody because they can't get the licensing or whatever. And even if they can get the licensing, they have to be able to sell these cabinets. And that's something that may be the biggest hill to climb, and definitely not a hill some are considering dying on. It is what it is. Also, Canadian money is good here, my friend. Soon to be 51st dineros. I don't know what we're going to call it. Viva la Canada. Nuff, F-nuff with 51st bull. Listen, it's a joke, my friends. All my Canadian friends, I'm just joking with you. It's funny. It's banter. It's going back and forth. We have a president that's got a little bit of a loud mouth. He likes to pop off. But listen, I think that what we need to do is consider that maybe we should just keep Canada. How about that? I say I lift my glass to all my Canadian brothers and sisters. You maple leaf having mofos, and I say we keep Canada Canadian. And keep Austin, Texas weird. That's just the way that works.
Finish him. Squad wins. Flawless victory. Fatality.
Thanks for supporting the channel, everybody. I appreciate it. Even the Canadians, I know that are tired of those jokes. I know you're sick of it. But listen, if you were part of America, think of the money you'd save in shipping. Wouldn't that be great? Speaking of the cabinets that some of us actually have pre-ordered from Iconic Arcade, let's talk about that for just a second. Here's another, once again, Kongs R Us got this statement to us. This is the statement that they wanted, Iconic Arcade wanted us to know about the current cabinets that are currently available for pre-order. And they said, John D said, we remain on track to release a highly anticipated arcade Street Fighter XXL later this year. However, in light of newly introduced tariffs, we are reviewing production adjustments based on fan feedback to ensure we deliver the best possible experience. While our original target was June, these changes may result in a slight shift in the delivery timeline. We will provide a formal update as soon as details are finalized. What does that mean? Well, that means that I think they're definitely coming out. I don't think that the Street Fighter cabinets are not. I think they're going to happen. I'm almost certain they're going to happen. I'm like 95% sure they're going to happen. but there's always that 5%. But no, I think they're going to happen. I saw the passion in John D's eyes. The guy's focused. The passion of the team. They really want this to happen. And listen, he's got the best relationship with Capcom by far. Everyone knows this. So if anything's going to fall, it's not going to be a Capcom deal. If it was something else, maybe, possibly. But I think that there are going to be some real changes to the design. Now, we had some initial discussions about the width of the control panel. This is something we've talked about back and forth. Some people don't want it to change. Some people like me want it to change. I wanted the cabinet to be a little bit wider. I felt like they were so close to those Dynamo HS1 dimensions that if they just widen the cabinet, I mean, the depth is good. They don't need to really go too much higher. I mean, they could, but I think you're going to have to keep the height in mind when you're talking about flat pack. So the height I wasn't too worried about. But the width, I'm like, if you could go a little bit wider, and the Dynamo HS1 control panel is 23 3/4 inches, almost 24 inches. So if they could go I think it's about 2 inches wider or an inch and a half wider than what they have now. I think they're 22 inches wide right now. So I want a little bit more width. So you could widen that out and then make the two-player, just maximize the two-player experience. So let's talk about that again, review this a little bit. Here's what I'm talking about. Dynamo HS1 cabinets, which is what the iconic XXL is mimicking, had 19-inch monitors, and the control panels, that's the distance between the two side panels, right? That width, the true inside width, is 23.75. Now, I think, and this is gonna bear something, you got to bear something in mind, because I think this is going to be key when we're talking about things that are changing. Because some of my conversations talking to the team and talking about the width and how if you widen it, the benefits of the player and the distance between player 1 and player 2. But that also brought up discussions about what about if we're going to widen the cabinet, could we do a 16:9 monitor and save money there and not have to worry about getting a true 4:3 monitor? As long as you bezel it correctly, the player wouldn't even notice. I said, well, I don't think that's an issue or a problem, but what are we talking? Can we still get that 19-inch size? Can we still get it? So for the most important numbers to remember are the inside widths of cabinets like the Dynamo HS1, which is a 19-inch monitor and 23.75. But if you wanted to go with like a 25-inch, you want to step up, you have to go much wider. So let's talk about the limitations therein. Okay, so I think that for the HS1 19-inch monitor equipped arcades, I think a 16:9 monitor will be okay. So bear in mind these two numbers, 23.7, let's say 24 inches and 26 inches ish, right? The width between the two side panels. Now, why does that matter? Why does that matter? Let me look at this one first. Yeah, okay. So if we're talking about trying to do a 20 or a 16:9 monitor, it doesn't bother me on the 19-inch models because of the way that you can stay within the confines of the original width of the cabinet itself. Remember, the dimension we're talking about right now is 23.75. So if this is the dimensions, that is not the right one. Hold on. Let me kill that. That's right. Let me do this. Where's it at? Just 1 second. That's the wrong slide. Of course, it's the wrong slide. Why wouldn't it be the wrong slide? This one? Let me see. Let me kill that. The math isn't mathing. The math has to math. Boom. Okay. Go here, here. This it? Okay. So if you're talking about the square dimensions of the 19-inch and 25-inch monitor, 4:3 aspect ratios, this is what you're talking about. The key dimension to think about here is going to be the height. Because a 16:9 monitor is a rectangle, so it's much wider than it is tall. So if you can get the height right, you're good to go. So 12 inches high by about 16 inches wide for a 19-inch monitor, viewable area. Okay, so let's just focus on the 19-inch monitor right now. So you've got to have a monitor that's at least 12 inches high. Okay, so to do that, let me kill that. I can't believe, is that? Let me kill this one. Remove that one. There you go. That's the right one. Okay, so to accomplish that for a 19-inch monitor, you can get away with a 24-inch 16:9, the image up top, right? That's going to give you 12.5 inches of height. That's plenty, right? 24-inch monitor is also going to be 21.3, 21.5 inches wide. Remember, that's still going to fit within the side walls of a Dynamo HS1. So that would still keep the proportions correct. The cabinet wouldn't be wide, looking like a Multicade, looking like an At Games, and you would still maintain that stock width, but then you would have this 24-inch monitor that you would bezel and you wouldn't even see. So that would still be correct. So the 16x9-inch monitors don't bother me on cabinets that you're trying to get a 19-inch monitor out of. You're trying to stay within a certain size. So I think that there's some cost savings there, obviously, because of the 16x9 monitors are a lot cheaper, and you can still get all the proportions correct. You can bezel them, so I think that's fine. The problem is when you go bigger, and some people like to go big or go home. Just like a $5 super chat from GeForce Guy. What's going on, man? Going big, going home? No, he's staying right here. Why don't you play VR? Everyone is doing it. P-Dubs, Mike B, Kev Gret, Brooklyn, etc. You should consider VR. Lots of gun games. You love guns. Come on. Also sword games. Violent games where you can do some hacking and slashing. GeForce Guy, I would love to jump on the VR bandwagon. I'm just trying to get these big projects knocked out. I think there's definitely going to be some room for some VR in my life in the future as my schedule kind of opens up. But VR is definitely making some huge strides. But you know what? I think at this point, I'm just being a contrarian. I don't want to do something that everybody else is doing. Doesn't make a lot of sense, I know. But that's just the way I roll. No, VR is cool, man. I played it. When I do play it, I do have a lot of fun. Just got some other stuff going on, taking too much of my time. But I do plan on wrapping a lot of this stuff up and spending more time gaming. I'm spending a lot of money on cables and adapters and crap so I can do some live stream gameplay. It's going to be a lot of fun. But yes, VR is a lot of fun. One of us. So while we see them cutting some corners, I think they're going to change the design. I think they can go a little bit wider. And on one hand, it's going to be great for the two-player experience. And it's going to be good for them because I think they can go with a cheaper monitor. We saw this on B's live stream whenever he was live streaming for the Super Game Room dudes. And I think he pointed this out in his video also, that the Double Dragon cabinet had a 16x9-inch monitor in it. And I think that could absolutely make its way to the production model. And while usually I don't like that, I think that if you bezel it correctly and you stay within the 19-inch size, you're fine. But let's look at the other thing I'm talking about. If you want to go bigger, 25.75 inches, that's the width. That's a Dynamo HS5 with a 25-inch monitor. If you want to go with something like that, these are the dimensions you got to consider. Okay, remember 15.5 inches is what you have to get. You have to get that height. You have to find a monitor that's going to be that high, at least that high, so you can get the true 25-inch monitor experience, right? But to do that, you got to go with a 32-inch monitor. And while you get plenty of height at almost an inch, a little less than an inch, you are going to absolutely not be able to do this with damn near 30 inches between 28 inches. So that's going to make that thing look like an At Games because you've overshot your interior dimension. So it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So I think it's going to be fine. I think it's going to work at the 19-inch scale. If that's what you're trying to do, the double XL is going to be fine. But if they go any bigger, I think it's a big problem. So I think this is going to change. I think there's going to be some cost savings for Iconic. I think there's going to be some benefits for customers if they do widen this thing and give us that true 20, damn near 24 inches in interior width. I think that's going to be arcade accurate. I think it's going to be good for us. And, if it's cheaper for them, then that means they can make more money, which means they can make more products. And maybe, just maybe, we could get a new game, a new cabinet down the line. But listen, Double Dragon, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. It didn't happen when RK1UP was trying to do it with a 17-inch monitor. It didn't happen then. It's not going to happen now. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Hate to break it to you. It's not going to happen. It was never going to happen. And I'm sad about it. I know you're sad about it, but it is what it is. Let's just talk about something else. Okay. Let's talk about the last thing. Let's talk about the last thing. Let's talk about something that I was thinking about this last week. I don't have a lot of slides. I just want to talk about. I want to get your feedback. I want to get your ideas. I want you to talk about. Hey, listen, great advice. When given, should be heeded. Smash like button, peeps. It's the right thing to do. My brother Snow Dubs, dispensing the knowledge. Thank you so much for being here, Snow Dubs. Appreciate you, brother. What about a 27-inch? A 27-inch will get you not enough height. So Angelo P, I worked that out too. You're going to be just shy of the height needed by about a half inch. 27-inch monitor is only going to give you about 14 and a half inches. Now, these are monitor sizes. You got to subtract a little bit of that for bezel. Viewable actual monitor is going to be a little bit less than that. So you're not going to have the 15 inches needed to clear that. That now, if you want to go with like a 26-inch, like a Unico, you need 16 inches of height, or about 15 and 3/4 inches height. So you're not going to be able to get it with a 27. A 27 would fit within the confines of that, and that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. If you go with a 27, that's fine, but you're not going to get the true 25. You're going to end up with a 23-inch or 23.5-inch 4x3, which is fine, but that's not. If we're trying to go with arcade accuracy, it's not going to work. I think it's going to work at the size that Iconic is trying to do it. I think that's going to be fine. When you consider the overall dimensions of the cabinet, when you consider the original dimensions of the cabinet, it makes sense and they can pull that off. And I don't think it's going to be a problem if they bezel it correctly, which it looks like. And we saw that. And that's probably the first iteration of this, because they definitely had 4x3s in them in Vegas. But now we're seeing them with 16x9s. It's fine. If you can get the cost down and bezel it correctly and keep the look and everything, I think we're going to be fine. We'll be good to go. But I want to talk about Basic Fun. I want to talk about what they're doing. We got really excited about some stuff. Let's just look at this real quick. Just one slide. I got just one slide. The takeaways from the interview with Basic Fun, who has taken the ball and running with it. They've got the baton from RK1 up and they're going. They're running with it. And these are some of the phrases that we took away, some of the things that they mentioned: counter size, freestanding, slim, junior size, junior series. And then the actual series or the categories of cabinet was going to be junior, slim, ultra, and supreme. And they mentioned, of course, Pac-Man, Turtles, WWE, WWF, I guess, and Atari. But I've been thinking about this. I've been thinking about this for a while. And I don't think, and the poll question is up. Let's look at it real quick. 139 votes. Everybody vote in the poll. We got about 162 watching. Vote in the poll. I need to know what is your vision for where home arcade should go? Everybody, I think, you got a different take. I've got a take. Going back and forth, considering the prices of screens, right? When this whole arcade stuff started in 2018, 2019, 4x3 monitors were 17 inches only, and they were rough. Remember the TNs? And then they got a little bit better. Okay. And then a couple years go by, and then we see, or maybe was it 3 years? Yeah, see, 2021, I think, is when the XL came out. And we saw 19s. Wow. But once again, they were TN. And it took some time for a BOE solution to come around. And now we have Unico coming out with, they've come out with their 26. And it's been out for a while, and it's had a couple different iterations, but it's there. I haven't seen any more applications of the 4x3 monitors. I haven't seen anybody push forward with a 19-inch solution other than Iconic, who is now transitioning to 16x9. All indications are pointing that direction. So we got 16x9 monitors, but that does affect the width, but I think we're going to be okay. If you stay within that size, we just talked about all that. But if you want to stay skinny and keep your overall packing costs to a minimum, you want to stay in the deluxe size, the deluxe form factor, overall, So 17-inch monitors, most people are happy with those. And you have to consider the install base. So if you're familiar with like PlayStation and Xbox and all these, and you get a bunch of consoles out there, and then you can make a bunch of money on software because your install base is so high. So there's 10 million PlayStation owners. Now we know we can charge X amount of dollars for this game because we know there's such an install base that we can make our profit back quicker, faster, whatever. Of course, Xbox is worse than PlayStation. It's lower level. There's less of an install base. Consider the arcades that have been built at 3/4 scale. Basically all of them, with the small exception of a few XL cabinets that exist. Golden Tee, Shack Jam, KI Pro, I guess, right? Pac-Man, and I guess Golden Tee XL / Midway, I don't think I'm missing one, am I? No, that's it. Everything else has been 3/4 scale. Everything 17-inch monitors. And we talk about where it's going to go. I think that if you look at everything that they mentioned in this, if you look at everything that let me bring this up again. If you look at everything that they mentioned in this interview, Supreme, all that stuff, that's the way Supreme was described, or the top tier was described. The big selling point with the Supreme cabinet is that it had more games and a molded coin door. Wow. Riveting. We've seen that before. And if you're talking about a company jumping in for the first time, what's as far as your risk assessment? Okay, we want to come out with something. What do we want to come out with? Well, everything they list is stuff that already exists. There are a lot of different countercades out there, people that have collected countercades. So that's fairly established. You also have My Arcade coming out with countercades. You just had Evercade come out with a countercade. So it's not a stretch to come out with some kind of a countercade style, small bar tops thing. There's an install base. There's customers that are willing to buy that and pay a couple $100 for some of these offerings, right? And then the Juniorcade, well, there's one out there. There's two different variants of it, but it's kids and it's a low price point. Fine. But beyond that, what else is out there? Tons, millions of 17-inch monitors, 3/4 scale cabinets. So that's where the basic makeup of everybody's arcade is 3/4 scale. And if you start looking at the prices of everything, the iterations of everything, if you start looking at the way things were built and packaged and the whole growth of Arcade 1-Up and the home arcade segment and the way the path those cabinets took. You and I both thought years ago that XL was the wave of the future. XL was the way to go. They can charge more money. They can just make the same cabinets all over again, except now they're XL. So you just copy and paste, just make it bigger. I guess you don't copy and paste. I get you cut. Anyway, you know what I'm saying. Take the same exact cabinets, make them slightly bigger, charge more money, and we would buy them. But they never did it. They never did it. The bean counters said at some point it's just not worth it. Doesn't make any sense. Now, I don't know what factors played into that. I would have loved to have a complete, I would sell all my 3/4 scale cabinets and rebuy XL versions and have a slightly bigger arcade. I think a lot of people would. And that would create that whole secondary market we talked about of the 3/4 scale cabinets, those 17-inch monitors. Those would exist for a long time. And there would be plenty of customers who didn't want to pay sticker price for a 3/4 scale cabinet, but they would love to buy them on the secondhand market, the secondary market. And you would create this whole thing, this whole secondary marketplace. And then the people that build their arcades out from secondhand 17-inch monitors, 3/4 scale cabinets, would get the bug like the rest of us did. And eventually they would jump to the XLs. But it never happened. It never happened. XLs barely got out of the gate. Most of them, half of them, had horrible monitors. The first two out of the gate had horrible monitors. Really bad. 5.4 TNs. Not good. Eventually we saw 3/4 scale BOEs. Nice. But it never happened. And I think it's because it's the cost. And I think that they said it just wasn't worth it. So they stayed 3/4. and the best 3/4 cabinets we ever saw. We can debate this back and forth. If you love risers, I get it. I know. But the best 3/4 scale cabinets we ever saw were Deluxes. And then what happened? 3/4 scale Deluxes, what happened? That was the peak. And then it fell off. And then we started seeing the Slim KD. Deluxe, but skinnier. I think Deluxe is probably going to be the best that we've ever seen. Now, if you want to talk about the singular, the best arcade, the singular product from Arcade 1-Up, there is plenty of room for discussion. You can talk about this, you can talk about that, whatever. Some would say the KI Pro was the pinnacle, maybe. And that was a Pro, right? It's a Pro size or an XL size. Some would say that. But if you talk about the other XLs, I mean, they're going to have major problems. I really love the Golden Tee that I'm selling now after 3.5 years, but it had a horrible monitor. And Shack Jam had a horrible monitor. And then when they finally came around, the Pac-Man was really good. I think that was the best version of Pac-Man they ever did. And then what happened next? What was the next XL? Was a bastard child. Midway, Namco. It was wrong. I mean, if you liked it, sure. I didn't like it. If you want to talk about execution, for the money, Deluxe was the best that it was. Overall. It was the ultimate iteration, the ultimate version of the 3/4 scale cabinet. And I don't think that Basic Fun is going to exceed that in any way. I think Basic Fun is going to start a tick under Deluxe, and then I think they'll eventually get there. And then that's where they're going to stay. And we're not going to see a lot of these XLs from anybody else. I mean, Iconic is coming out the gate with one, but how tempted are they going to be to say, hey, listen, why don't we make a smaller version? Maybe they're all going to be XLs or XXLs. I have no idea. But they would be the aberration. They would be the thing that's different. They would be something set aside, set apart. And I just don't think that we're going to see a bunch of stuff. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I just don't see Iconic Arcade banging these things out like Arcade 1-Up did on the 3/4 scale, on the Deluxe scale. We're just not going to see it at that volume. It's not going to happen. And I wish them all the luck in the world. It'd be great if they did. And they just started banging out XL, XXL cabs nonstop. It'd be great if Iconic could just do nothing but XLs and be banging out 5, 6, 7 of these a year. And then Basic Fun is over here just knocking out the 3/4 scale. But I just don't think it's going to happen. So I think that you're going to have Basic Fun start a tick under Deluxes, eventually get to the point that they're making Deluxe quality games, cabinets. But I just think that with all these years, 7 years now of home arcade products existing in this form, with the research that's been out there, with the track record of these companies and what they've actually produced, not theoretical, but what have they actually produced? It's been 3/4, and the best 3/4 line, hands down, has been Deluxe. And there's been some great ones. The thumbnail of this video, look at the Mortal Kombat Midway cabinet. That's a good cabinet. It's a good shape. Comfortable. Look at the Street Fighter Deluxe. It's a good cabinet. It's got that Dynamo HS5 shape. Got that Knight Rider nose on the front. It's a comfortable cabinet. Looks good. These are cabinets that don't need much. You want to go to Retro 530, get that lit coin door kit, throw that in there. Maybe a slight riser. Go over to G.I. Joe, get one of those little risers, kick it up a couple inches. Swap out the buttons. But there's nothing radical you need to do with these things. Not really. They're not bad. They're not perfect at all. But they're not bad. I think they're the best that we ever got in 3/4 scale, in 3/4 size. And I don't think it's going to get any better than that. I just don't see it. I don't see Basic Fun coming out the gate with a deluxe cabinet that has HAP controls or Sanwa controls. I don't see it. I just don't see it. Or like a real coin door or something nuts, right? I just don't see it. I think Deluxe is the best that it's ever been. I think Deluxe is what Basic Fun is going to they're going to shoot for that with their Supreme cabinet, but I'm not even sure their Supreme will get there. I don't know. Time will tell. But I think it's just math. I think it's just a calculated risk that Basic Fun is taking. There's a lot of money tied up in licensing, which has been the number one limiting factor for Arcade 1-Up is licensing. They would go all in on Blitz and lose their ass. And then not go on and get other games. Some games are just ungettable. Alien vs. Predator, for example, is an arcade classic. It's a staple. Well, I'll take this back. I'll take that back. I know not everybody loves it. I do, obviously. But it's a Capcom classic with a huge IP. Nobody's going to get that. It's just, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to get that. And that's just one example of many games out there that just aren't, unfortunately, going to happen. Qbert, for some reason, didn't happen. And I have no idea why. Qbert. I mean, come on. We had Tron and Qbert didn't happen? It's crazy. It's crazy. But I think that for that, when are we playing Trilogy? I'm not ever playing Trilogy, but I am playing BattlePod. I'll show you real quick. I have a pile of parts. I have a pile of adapters and cables so that I can give my audience the best gameplay experience for Star Wars BattlePod. And I'm not talking about some PC ripoff thing. I'm not talking about something downloaded illegally on the internets. I'm talking about the real cabinet, baby. And this is just one of the adapters that I bought to try to make that happen. This is the DVI splitter. This is a big hunk of freaking gold and plastic, baby. This is commitment. You know why? Because I'm here for the community. You think you're a hero, buddy? I'm a hero. I'm a living legend because I bought an adapter on Amazon. By God, you called down the thunder. Well, now you've got it. I don't drink enough. I should definitely have some more drinks. But yeah, I think that's just it, guys. I think Deluxe is the best that it's ever going to be. Because if they try to push beyond that, it's just not going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. I think that they'll hover just under Deluxe, maybe get there. And listen, it's not a bad thing when you consider, like I said, most of us out there have built these arcades at 3/4 scale. You're not going to be upset to get WrestleFest at the same scale as your Deluxe cabinets, are you? No, you're going to add that son of a gun to your collection and say, hell yeah. Thank you. Can I have another? Boom. Here comes maybe even a better version of Turtles. If it's got the Cowabunga collection on it and it's a badass shape, who's going to be selling their first gens? Well, I guess it's technically a third gen. You're going to get rid of that shit stuff. Sorry, edit that out. You're going to get rid of that and you're going to get the new one. And if it's at 3/4 scale, it's not going to throw the whole arcade off. Because I know you're all OCD like me, you know? You want things at a certain scale. And I think that's where we're at. And I really think it's never going to get better than Deluxe. I think Deluxe is the best it's ever going to be. It's ever been. There'll be different games available in Deluxe. But I think that that's where it is. Now, I don't even think that that's a bad thing. It's not going to be what some people want. I know, Paul, you're not going to like it. That's okay. I'm with you, buddy. Talking, and plug it in. I hear you. There's a lot. I got a lot of things. It's going to happen. It's going to happen this week for sure, buddy. But yeah, so I think it's where we're at. And like I said, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Others want more. Others want XLs. I have full size arcades. I get it. But I don't think that's a bad thing. If Basic Fun had the simple goal of continuing to add to the catalog that already exists, I don't necessarily think that is a bad thing. There are going to be some redos. There are going to be some more Pac-Man cabinets. But if they can add to that, they have a pretty big install base. They have a lot of customers that are ready to go, ready to buy those cabinets at that size. So I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. But I do believe that Deluxe is just the best that it's ever going to be. I do. Almost as good. Almost as good. That's a $10 super chat from B Kirby. Thank you so much for continuing to support the channel, brother. Always appreciate it. I've said this on James Hates Everything show. Basic fun equals arcade one-up with a couple XLs a year, and iconic arcade will become the next iArcade. Fade away after a couple years, if that. Well, somewhat prophetic. And, some people might laugh at you and say you're wrong. I don't know that I would be one of those guys. You're probably onto something. And it's funny how things mirror some things like repeat, recycle. I could see this definitely happening. Absolutely. So that's kind of my synopsis. That's kind of where I think things are going. I think the basic fun would probably be smart, staying at that, in that range, in that area. Deluxe, the best it's ever going to be. Could be worse. Could be worse. We could be getting nothing but peasant-cades, No Fox, we want XL. Don't crush our dreams. XL is the real 3/4. I know. I agree with you. I've said that too, brother. But I don't think it's going to happen. Jay Pace says, my prediction is iconic arcade XXL line will be the best we'll ever see. Possible. It could be the best singular product ever. Could be end up being the best line. Decadent Dave says, Thor, the price has gone up. But considering New Wave Toys isn't making them often anymore, I'm pretty much out. Oh, talking about the New Wave Toys. Yes. Some people have big houses. Others, like me, stuck with studio apartments. Practically my whole house is an arcade. Survey after survey says people want XL. Deluxe is the past, and it was never great. Don't disagree. I just don't think it's the financial risk that these companies are willing to take. No Double Dragon XXL, no sale. I know. I'm with you. Right now, it's all of Fugazi. Fugazi, it doesn't exist. I don't even know if I said that word right. Did you see the Plinko at Costco? Oh, yeah. Plinko's cool. I did see that. Not going to pre-order it, though. Well, I guess if it's available now, you don't have to pre-order it. Yeah, no room in my arcade, but maybe I can talk the wife into allowing that to make its way into the actual basement itself, the bar area. I haven't seen anyone stream BattlePod. You might get lots of views for it. It's going to be fun. GeForce, I think it's going to be worth it. I think that things like this, you got to kind of overcome to get. I did try some cameras and mics and different setups. I did some recordings through StreamYards. It just, guys, you wouldn't have been happy with that. It was rough. It was rough. And I want it to be worth your time for sure. Paul says there are so many people not buying anything until XL size products are available. The market is ready. I'm not disagreeing with you. I just don't think it's going to happen. And I think a lot of people are getting into this years after we have. There are channels. I saw a channel today. Guy's got 26 subscribers, and he's showing off his arcade for like the first time. And there's people that are getting to this into this, within the last year or two. They're very much in 3/4 heaven right now. And they're more enthusiastic, where we've kind of been there. We've been through the trenches, been there, done that. I want XL. I want something bigger. I want something better. You see, I've got bigger cabinets, obviously full-size stuff. So I get where you're coming from. I get it. But I think that the numbers don't see it that way, or we would have seen more XLs in the past. Arcade 1-Up would have continued that push, but for whatever reason, I don't know if it was just the suppliers. Maybe their margins were really, really slim. Even when they increased the price by $200, maybe they still weren't making the margins exactly where they wanted them. I don't know what it is. But I got to tell you, I think it's just a grim reality. And it can be sad and disheartening, but nothing picks me up better than a $5 super chat from Prince Malcolm. Thank you so much for being here, buddy, and supporting the channel. Appreciate you, man. Iconic can never be iArcade. They don't mismanage and lowball offer developers. Well, exactly. Listen, I know they're maybe not doing that now, but there's always hope, right?
Let's go.
Wolverine win! Rookie.
So that's where my 2 cents are going to be placed. I'm putting them right there. These quarters are on the glass. I think Deluxe is probably the best we're ever going to get from anybody else. They've seen some of the calculated wisdom. I think they're going to look at Arcade 1-Up's XL excursion, and they're going to look at that as an overreach and overstep, and they're going to stay firmly where they feel comfortable and the market is, and it is 3/4, for better or for worse. That's why I believe that Deluxe is the best it's ever going to be. Oh, would you look at that?
What the hell?
Yo, the sign is real simple, B. It says wrap it up.
Unfortunately, it is that time. We got to wrap up the show. Remember, members, stay right here. Your $5 a month membership gives you access to the after show we do every single week. We're going to talk about some stuff tonight. But before we go, I want to talk about the poll question. Let's go ahead and end the poll. 170 votes, everybody. Thank you so much for voting in the poll. Let's go ahead and end that bad boy right now. Let's see where it all shook out. All shook up, all shook out. There we go. Boom. Let me do that. 4. I'm going to post that later. Okay, so here are the results. The question again, what do you want to see Basic Fun do with the upright home arcade product line? Where do you want to see them take it? Take the ball, run with it. Which direction? Coming in number 3 was Go Cheap sub 400. That's kind of shocking. Coming in last place with only 18% of the vote. Nobody's looking for a cheaper, crappier option. They're looking for something a little bit different. So who won? Go big, stay deluxe. Well, Paul's going to love this. Coming in at number 1 with 51%, just a little bit over half, is bigger design and price. So that means that same deluxe size and price is only at 29%. So 51%, not too shabby. Maybe Basic Fun should not listen to me, but listen to this audience that is enthusiastic about the product, enthusiastic about the community, which is made up of a lot of great people. A lot of great people that have supported me and others with not only donations, but conversation, with views, with likes, with all this stuff, all these years later, guys. It's not lost on me. Like I said, last week was the 4-year anniversary of the show. And, hits me every time. We've been doing this for a long time. I don't think we're going anywhere. I think the enthusiasm is going to be here for many more years to come. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping by and checking out the channel. Y'all all have a blessed day. Members, stay right here, and I will see all of you right back here next time. Peace.